Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Um, so this is a video I've tried to record like 3 times now. Every single time I managed to somehow cut off the recording like 4 minutes into it, and it's gonna be like a 20-minute video. So I don't know how or why I've managed that. You know what? You guys are going over here. This is a better spot. Sorry. Oh God. There you go. So I can turn to look, even though I'll be playing the game over here. So I wanted to do a little tour of my first, well, not my exact first, but like my first major single player world in Minecraft. And oh shit, I'm probably gonna spawn in somewhere incorrect. Ah, look up. Okay, we're just gonna um, turn cheats on slash CP. I think this. Aha! We made it. Okay, so around the time of just after high school and throughout college, this was my base. I have a newer base that I set up like literally an outpost at. It's nothing, but this is the newest, pretty much the newest like full base. So what I did is I found the savanna biome with cool plateaus. I built this little house and I built this thing. I flattened out all the terrain, made a giant farm, made a little castle thing. Um, I guess I'm in spectator, right? Yeah. Then I got some farms over here. You know, you can see my giant mine. But then I came over here and I was like, hey, there's a village over here. Let's build a fort for them. And for some reason, just spam houses like an absolute mad lad and have like a single block for the whole place. Crazy. But then I was like, hey, what if we flattened this entire island? You know, put a nice little coastal perimeter barrier wall around it and then flatten the whole thing. And also turn the desert slowly but surely into savanna. This was a mountain that I blew up. No reason. Just did it. Never filled it in. That's kind of my problem. I have an issue. I don't fill. I clear out all this land and then I never fill it in. So anyway, that's enough of this base. I wasn't here too long. Like I said, I did this in college and I hardly played Minecraft in college. I was more into Europa by that time. Um, so we'll go into creative mode here so we can go into the nether, and then we're gonna come on out through here, and if we go this way and then over to here and then up, let me go back into spectator mode so I can travel really fast. I have a tunnel, and this connects us to a hub of tunnel networks. Oh boy, it's not keeping up. Oh, it turns. Yeah, that's right. This is my next second most recent base. This was in high school. I would say I don't know. Whenever the update for this came out, I moved here, and that was this update added why don't I just do that? There we go. This update added this biome. This okay, why is it nighttime? Where's the bed? Where's the fucking bed? Fucking sleep, man. Sleep till it's day. Boom. Okay. So we have this. It's just a dark oak forest that I wanted to totally conquer. What happened actually was I was really into this base. Obviously, I built this giant iron farm. I had terraformed a huge chunk of this land though, and what happened was I was using snapshots and the world file got corrupted. I had to back up to like a month earlier save I made, and that was this. And so all of the work, I did a massive amount of work. I cleared a ton of trees. I was terraforming. I actually had structures. I had like a little village going over here. No villagers, but like houses and shit. Even over here too. I had some farms. And all gone. So I was pretty depressed. So not much here. Um, not much here really. You know, you can see my classic sort of storage room here. This is like the, you know, inside of my base. This is where I did most of my shit, you know. It's a tiny little storage room. But anyway, you know, enchanting room. Nothing crazy. You could tell this was also, it was the whenever they added terracotta. It was called hardened clay back then, but I immediately had to build something. So I moved to this biome and I built this house just immediately. It's a dumb looking house, you know. It's literally retarded, but you know, I wanted to do it. Okay, so I guess we can take the minecart. So I built this whole thing. It's probably very loud for you guys now because it's minecarts, and minecarts in Minecraft are very loud. But I built this whole thing to connect this base to what is then my third most recent base, and I'll go there quick. I won't spend too much time there, but yeah. We're not doing that. Because this is very, 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 very long. Oh, there it is. Still going. There we go. Oops. Too far down. Here we go. Alright, so this is our nether hub. Okay, it's just sandstone and some shit. If we come all the way over here, I know I'm kind of flying through the nether hub system here, but it's just because there's really not that much to show you in the nether. Yeah. Here we go. This is the third most recent base. And this is when they added, not immediately after they added them, after they added horses, but pretty soon after they added horses. I didn't have any areas in my world that had horses because my world was so old. So I went out here and I found a giant plains biome with millions, I say millions, like dozens if not hundreds of horses. And I built a stable, you can see, you know, but I just also wanted them to roam free. But I was slowly but surely taming them all, and I had a lot in here, breeding them, trying to get the fat. I got like this. I used a mod to tell the stats of my horse, like the exact number for their speed stat, and I got the fastest you could get. And I was able to breed a few of them. This was a whole structure dedicated just to brewing splash potions, so that I could throw splash speed potions on the horse. So I had the fastest horse in the game, and then I was giving it speed too in order to run everywhere. Because you couldn't fly back then. So here's another one of my classic storage rooms. You know, again, not really much to see here other than the fact that once again, I flattened out a huge biome by just building a 1 block thin roof over the actual landscape and then never filled it in. I never was supposed to fill that in, but still, could have added some shit. So yeah, so that's this area. Let's go back to the nether again and travel super far. Now this is gonna be where we're going is my fourth most recent base. To actually give you a real time frame, this was probably the base I used through most of, I want to say 8th grade and freshman and possibly into sophomore year of high school. So years I was at this base. And it was definitely my biggest base and my most influential and built up base. So just to start, we have, you know, a series of caves that I built, a giant, you know, sugarcane farm, regular farm, pumpkin farm. We've got a brewing room, not automatic, but still. And then we have a beacon somewhere. Where's the beacon? What? Oh, here's the beacon. We have a beacon underwater because this base, and I'm going to go down this tunnel, which I made underwater, is in an ocean. And there it is. I built a giant disc in the middle of an ocean because originally when I came here, I built a mob trap. I built this farm to farm zombie skeletons, creepers, and not spiders. Not spiders. Then I was like, hey, I need a storage room, so I built this floating island here, which is really crap. I always hated it after I built it, but I was like, oh, it took so long. So I put a storage room in that, and this was my main storage room for the world for ever. I mean, being here right now actually brings up like a decent amount of like nostalgia and memories for me. Like I did so much shit out of this storage room. I spent so much time looking at this wall. Like, it's insane. You know, look at all the tools I had built up. You know, this is before mending, before books. You know, it was crazy. And, I don't know how, but a villager got up here. Oh, I know how, because there used to be... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna fucking... You know, I spent a lot of time down here, too, because this was where I did stuff. Like, this was a snow thing. There was a snow golem. These were all my furnaces, obviously, enchanting. This was a chicken farm that I had to deactivate because they were too loud. But what I'm about to do here is, you know, this was my way down. And this was a piston elevator. This is how I got back up. There was a piston elevator. It doesn't really work anymore, but... Oh my god, it almost worked! Not really. It didn't really take us that far. It took us pretty far. Anyway. I built a village here on the floating island, you know, and then I built a bunch of farms. Then I branched back out to the mainland, which is when I built a horse stable place. And this thing isn't just 2 floors. I was obsessed with horses. It goes way underground and then also even further underground. I tried to build this up. I was going to build a little town over here. This is a giant automatic potion brewing area, which is actually way more compact than the one we saw at the other base. I don't know why. And then this was an ice farm that's broken because for some reason the ice doesn't form here anymore. Weird. So yeah, that was this base. I spent so much time here. It's crazy to think about, you know. As you can see, I lit up a lot of caves. Not even all of them. But it didn't matter because that mob farm was so high above the sky, you didn't need to light up the caves. But still did it anyway, you know. But yeah. So that was probably, you know, my biggest base. You know, my biggest foray into, like, mega buildings, right? So anyway, the base before this was probably one of the most landmark ones in that it was the first time in Minecraft where I really, like, had a goal and I wanted to build a unified thing. You can see here, the world is getting so old, we have fucked up terrain generation, which is fun. But yeah, this was a village, so they added to the game villages. So this is beta generation right here. I literally got up to the edge of my world. They added the adventure update. This was 2011. So literally, you know, end of 8th grade, freshman year of high school. So actually, these bases, this base and the base we were just at kind of existed at the same time. I used them both interchangeably. But this was a village that I turned into a fort. Again, not too creative. You know, I just built the same exact building over and over again and then built bigger buildings over and over again. But, like, you can see I was trying to get some, like, fortified, like, village going. And I love this place. I love the walls. The walls and the turrets. I always loved imagining this thing being sieged by, like, enemies. But, like, you know, it's a fucking fortified little city. So it's perfectly protected. You can see this is where I did most of my diamond mining. I mean, I don't even remember. Obviously, this was like, you know, 2011. We're talking 9 years ago now. Which is how old this world is. This world was generated in 2010. The end of 2010. So not exactly 10 years, but I need content, so I wasn't going to wait. So yeah, and this was a place I really lit up a lot of caves. I mean, I've got slime farm here. I've got, I did so much work here. But yeah, no, there's nothing crazy inside anything because I had a storage room, but I tore it down. There is my world's ender portal is here, and that's because my ender portal was supposed to exist in terrain that had already been generated before ender portals existed. Which, if you don't really know Minecraft or how Minecraft works, basically, my world, where the ender portal is supposed to exist, was generated in a time period before they added that to the game. So when the game, said, okay, this world has an ender portal here, it couldn't add it after the fact. The world already existed. Now I could have went in and I could have pruned this. I could have cut this up. It's literally right along this border here. I think the stronghold is down here. We might even see it. You know what? It looks like this is a tunnel I dug looking for the portal. And I never found it because this is where my stronghold was supposed to be. And it wasn't. Or is that over here? No. Interesting. Anyway. So that was this base. This was, it was literally the adventure update. They added the adventure update. You could find villages, ravines, abandoned mine shafts, strongholds, And I came, and the first thing I saw after, leaving the old area, you can see by this wall, the old generation, as the world used to be, was a village, and I ran right over here. I built a cactus that goes all the way to the top of the sky. Oops. And I built it, and this was like, this is a project I put my mind into. It took a while. I had to level the village. I had to tear stuff down. And I really enjoyed having it. Anyway, now we're going back. Now this is like, we're in a time machine here. We are going back. I'm actually going to switch over to creative mode here because I'm going to get some decent nostalgia. Mind you, that village is right there, right? It's right there. It's right there. You can see, there it is, right? I used to think this was a huge journey. Like, this was a giant trek. You will see, we're going to be there in, like, 2 seconds. But I kid you not, I was like, holy shit, I moved so far away. So anyway, here we are. Now, you're going to recognize this is distinctly traditional beta / even alpha era Minecraft. If you guys played Minecraft, pre-2012, even then, this is just noob Minecraft right here, So the first structure I ever built in this area was this house. And that's because they added to the game birch trees and spruce trees, which I don't think there are any over here. But and they added lapis lazuli, whatever the fuck. And I said, hey, I had to get myself some of that lapis lazuli. So I came out and I found the first birch tree I found was right over here where this birch tree farm is now. And I built a house right next to it. And, yeah. I used carpet, red carpet, real fancy, right? What the? Oh, that's right. I had a subway system. Oh, it's broken now. I deactivated it. Right. This, I think, was to my mines. Yeah, and I had a mob farm. Oh my god. What even is it? Like, what is this? What? What's with all the random blocks? Why is this like this? Oh my god. I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize. Oh, that's right. Nope, we were just here. I'm getting turned around. I'm lost. What the fuck? I can't get out. Did that used to work? Who knows? Oh, look, a little bus. This is a little bus stop. station thing you could sit for the train, because, you know, you'd need that. And I think this was a little tunnel I had for a minecart subway thing. Anyway, I'm really getting distracted here. Let's get the F out of here. There's an attic up there. Oh, it's nighttime again. Do we just have a bed that we can place down? Yeah, let's just do that. Oops. So, after I built this house, I built this structure, and for some reason I insisted on building a wheat farm in here. An automatic wheat farm with pistons and shit. So I did that. Then I built this house, and for some reason I said, okay, this house wasn't big enough for all my storage. So I built this house for additional storage. However, I never put any chests in here. I immediately went underground and built a cellar. And this used to be full of chests, like rows and rows and rows. Like not even just along the wall, but like in the middle here, just tons of rows. So this is another spot where I spent a lot of time, and sort of the nostalgia right now, again, it's like really overwhelming me. Like it's so long ago. So anyway, then I added these much later, but I had this fence that went around the whole base. I cleared out a little bay here. The water went up to like here, and I cleared it out. However, then, so what I did is, for some reason, I got fed up. I built the lighthouse. I built that house. You know, these houses, the lighthouse, this weird tree tower made out of, you know, leaves. I think I built this because they added the ability to pick up and place leaf blocks. Like, it used to be like leaves grew on trees and that was it. But then they added that, oh, you can pick up leaves and place them somewhere else. So I wanted to build this. Right? So anyway, what happened is, for some reason I said, I want to go somewhere new. So somewhere new was actually heading back towards my oldest base, which is that way. And I built this little house, just this little part. Then I added extension over here, and then I made it four levels tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah. And then I added a porch over the old one, and then I added an airship, which I always really liked. And I actually copied a new version of it when I did a build in my our last server, our gamer server. You know, then I built the road up, connected it back to the old area. I built this floating island, which is much cooler, right? Much more natural and awesome looking than the other one. This one I built first, so like, how did it turn out better? I don't know. You know, I had to build something out of birch and spruce because those were the new wood types, right? And so I did that. Little house on the island. They added carrots and potatoes eventually. I brought those back here. But then much later, I came back and I built this weird tower just on a whim. And I built all these houses. I think because I wanted to add villagers to this sort of village I had built. So I built them all a shit ton of houses. But they didn't even really expand that much. Like, are there even any villagers here? Or did they all die? I don't see any villagers here. Damn, they might be all gone. Anyway, we're going to go back into Spectator. I'm going to show you. I built a mob farm here. This is back before I knew to light up caves, but I built this mob farm. It was never really any good. Here are my diamond mines again, and I built another mob farm. I actually built this one first, and it was never really any good. Even though it's massive. You can tell I lived here forever because the mushrooms expanded so much throughout this cave system. Like, I spent so much time in this world that mushrooms slowly but surely, I never lit up these caves until later I came back and lit them up, and that's what happened. They had covered everywhere. That's what happens. Mushrooms grow in the dark, if you didn't know. Anyway, much later on, my brother, I opened the land to my my home, and my brother would log on and play. And he built this little wooden house, and then he built this stone castle, which actually made me kind of jealous because it was like, you know, it's nice. Like, he actually put like some time and effort into making it look cool, even though it's made out of stone and birch and glowstone, and it's got a weird end stone floor. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's, you know, and then I built this little brick house just across from him for some reason. Like, what's even in these chests? Nothing. But yeah, I lived here for a really long time. At least it felt like a long time. It probably wasn't, but, you know, like I said, yeah. So nothing crazy. Now we're going to go back to Alpha. This We're going back. So this minecart track used to actually go all the way to that house with the red carpet floor, because that was the only building here. So I built a sky rail all the way to that because I didn't actually want... That was just an outpost for me to mine lapis and birch trees. My real base at the time I built this was still over here, and you can kind of see part of it. So anyway, this boat I built for my grandmother, because, I don't know, I wanted to try building a boat. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, we're just going to skip that for now, and we're going to come over here. So I found naturally generated. I found these two cliffs that faced each other, and I was like, holy cow, that's cool. So naturally, I came over here and fucking gunked it up. I cleared away some of the shit. I added weird crap because I was really crap. I mean, this is, you know, look at this noob level shit. I just built a bunch of fucking boxes, like square rooms, you know. However, one part of this base that I actually really did enjoy, I love that there's nothing left. I have like TNT damage over here and over here. So I was experimenting with TNT. I don't know why there's just a random water thing here. But anyway, one thing I really enjoyed about this base actually was, if we come up on top of the hill, you'll see here, was I built an underground base. And I know this seems like nothing, but imagine if there were chests all over here and over here. And you can kind of see why. Like, it was awesome. I lived underground, and I never went above ground. Like, I had all these trees, this tree farm. I had all these farms right here, and I had grass. And mobs would spawn in here, like cows and sheep and shit. It was awesome. So I lived underground with all this lava right next to me. And I would mine for diamonds. How far did I go? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, how far even is this? Is like an ocean. What the fuck? I didn't even know this all was here. Hey, this is awesome looking. I'm gonna move over here. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, back to where we were. Oh shit. I went the wrong way. Where am I? Okay, here. So yeah, this was an even earlier base. I want to say like early 2011, possibly late 2010. I was living here. Then there's this. This is what mob farms used to look like. You built a giant square, 1 floor tall box in the sky. And you put a bunch of water paths and a bunch of, you know, platforms, and the mobs would wander off and get sucked in, and then they would fall down, and then they would fall down again, and then they would get pushed into lava and die, and their drops would come down. Oops, I'm getting confused. They would come down this water stream and into your inventory. 849 items per hour. I thought that was awesome. I mean, it was back then, but not that awesome. So yeah. And this was my first big project, not just in general, but in the world. And that's because, you know, this was my first base. A simple unintentionally penis-like tower made out of cobblestone. This was my mine that I dug straight down, and I actually did that a couple of times in this area of the world. I insisted upon just digging 8x8 holes straight down through the earth because I needed the cobblestone for this. That's why I did it. I forgot. Yeah, so you can even see, you know, the earliest, you know, fucking beginnings of me here. This was just a house I built to spawn in when you died. But this was a natural hill that I turned into. I flattened it out. I chopped it into these, you know, cube sections. This was all underground. You know, the ground came up to here. This was ground level, and I cut it down for some reason. Anyway, this was, you know, the house I lived in. And then I added a room back here, and I added a room over here, and a room over here, and I added one over here and put some farms in it. Ooh, whoa, crazy. Had room over here. This is where the farm was. Everything's made out of cobblestone, of course. Some glass, expensive. Couldn't put windows in the actual house. God forbid. This is my storage room. You know, there are no chests here now because I robbed them all. But here was my little basement that I don't think I ever used for anything much. Yeah. Except it was access to the mine shaft. Another mine shaft. And then I had this second floor with just as many rooms. Literally empty. Little bench there. Is that lava stuff? No, the water's there. Yeah, and then I was like, hey, I want to go up to the build height so I can have an awesome view. So I built a couple more rooms, and then I said, okay, making these rooms 5x5 or whatever size they are is too much. So I cut it down to 3x3. And I built this tower up to the tallest that you could build buildings back in the day. And it's all out of cobblestone, no stairs, just same block the whole way. Uh-oh, I fell. I'm just going to fly the whole way up. Yeah, I'm almost here. And this was it. And I spawned over there, and I lived right here, and I built a mob trap. And it's not impressive, you know, but it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I had so much fun doing this. You know, and again, you could see the first thing I did is I had iron pickaxes, and I was clearing away the landscape as if I was gonna fill it in with something. I never did. I've been doing it for 10 years. You know, but yeah, nothing crazy underground, I think. Yeah, aside from the wait a minute, I built two right next to each other. I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. Oh, there's another one over here. How many tunnels did I dig straight down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least. Maybe there's more. What the hell was wrong with me? Yeah. Then we built this mob farm, and I felt so proud of this. I loved this thing because it gave me so much gunpowder and arrows, and I was so proud. Like, look, you know, they come down. I would sit up here, and I would watch them fall down and then go down, and I was like, holy shit. You know? And then that's when I said, well, now that I've beat the game, because I have a mob farm, I want to make a base that's cool. And I found these cliffs just right over here. Awesome terrain generation, you know. The game used to have such awesome terrain generation. But then I said, hey, they added new blocks, so let's go exploring. And I did. I went exploring, and I went all the way over to this house. And then from this house, I cut back and filled in it with a, you know, again, look at massive flattened area. It took me forever to flatten. And I never did anything with it. What the hell happened here? I think this is a weird quirk of the terrain generation. Yeah, because you know what? This is supposed to be like an ocean biome now, I think. Let's hit F3. Where does it say biome? Biome. Mountains edge. Ocean. Yeah. Alright, whatever. But then again, when they added new stuff to the game, I went on and I explored, and I went this way and I found the village. And then, not really when they added new stuff, but when I wanted new stuff, I wanted a new mob farm that actually worked. I think they added, like the swamp and jungle biomes. I found the swamp, kept going a little bit longer because I didn't want to live in a swamp, and I found the jungle biome. And then I said, hey, I don't really want to live in the jungle either. And then I found an ocean biome, and I was like, perfect. I can build a giant mob farm here because that's where you put them over oceans, and I'll have my storage room, and I'll love this game for years in this base. And then, I went on to all the other biomes, and that's how you do Minecraft. So this video, I don't know what the point was. It probably comes off as like an attempt at being a little wholesome. It's really not. I'm just, reminiscing a little bit. Yeah. What's crazy is that this entire world is dwarfed by what I did on the gamer server, like, last year. And I assume it will once again be dwarfed by what I'm doing on the gamer server again, which is, nice transition, right? You guys should check out to our Minecraft Gamer series, because we are going to be putting out videos from a whole slew of content creators. You got Shiptard, you got Sean the Deadman Kessel, you got, Average Life of Losers, and you got Vic Natone putting up great Minecraft content on that gamer server. So, check it out every Tuesday and Sunday. Peace.